Hello everyone, my name's Misbah. Welcome back to another video. It's the beginning of autumn, the leaves are changing colour. I really love this season. Every year I read The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. It's such a beautiful book. I will show you my copy of it. It is the perfect combination of diary entries, poems, and then illustrations. I just love the watercolour illustrations in here. Let me find some of the autumn ones. Let's find one more. That's beautiful there with the autumn leaves. I've actually marked the book so that there is a little passage for November the 13th. And it's when she goes on an autumn walk, and I'll read that little section to you. Went for an early morning walk across the fields to Elmdon Lane to make some sketches of a blackbird and thrush at a cottage there. It was a grey, perfectly still morning with a slight fog that veiled the distant woods and trees in a purple mist. Many of the trees were quite bare, but the oaks still have their foliage and were all shades of bronze and brown. The hedges and the banks too were glowing with the golden tints of nut leaves and bracken. And everywhere there was a delicious autumn scent of fallen leaves. That's put me in the mood for an autumn walk. Come along with me, I know the perfect spot. I'm back from my walk now, and I've been into the garden and I've picked some leaves and berries, and I'm going to show you now how I do an autumn display so I can have some autumn beauty in my home. So this is my go-to vase. It's actually a silver bucket that I found in a charity shop and I polished up. So first of all, you have to make sure it's filled with water. I'm going to do it carefully, because I don't want the water splashing around the edges. And the reason for this is to make my arrangements easier. I put sellotape across the top of the bucket. So I'll just show you how. You can actually buy florist tape. I'm just using sellotape for my arrangement. So you stretch the sellotape across. It will hold pretty well as long as it doesn't get wet. Okay, so the sellotape goes across and then you do it the other way. So you get a nice crisscross pattern. Once I've done it, I'll lift it up to show you. And I find that this is better actually than using foam. It works better for me. Okay, so this is, if you want to bring the camera over, you can actually see. Yeah, can you see that? Okay, lovely. Okay, so once you've got your crisscross pattern, then you start. Now, I've just been in my garden and I picked what I could find. So there's no rules. I just start with the biggest things first. I find that's easier for me. Okay, now you don't want any leaves to actually go in the water because they will rot, and then that will mean that your display won't last as long. So I just trim away the leaves. So anything that's going to be in the water, I trim away and then I start putting them in there. Okay, and then found these in my neighbour's garden. I had his permission to pick some of that, so that's quite beautiful. And it doesn't matter if it hangs over, it's got to look, it's not got to look too stylised, it's got to look as if it's growing in nature. I just think it's so much nicer to actually have real flowers or greenery than to go and buy plastic things. And can you see how easy it is? It just takes minutes. And then every so often I just stop to look at it. And I found the berries as well. Now some of them have got sharp thorns, so I remove them so that it's easier to work with. And I don't want them ripping my sellotape as well. Oops. There. Okay, this is really nice. I think it's called Chinese lanterns. And that, to me, that is Halloween. That is the colour of autumn. Okay. Now, working around, there's no real rhyme or reason. You've just got to stop and look at your display and see. This is from my Pyrrhus plant. I love the fact that you've got some green and also some of the other colours coming through. And you can see how having the sellotape there is holding it in place. And it really takes minutes to do a display. So if you've got friends coming or you want to do a little display for an actual table, for a meal, for a table setting, just look at that. It looks professional, but it's taking minutes. Okay, so a few more in there. My favourites, my little aces from my garden. I love the green aces. Put that in there and there, and then just stop to look at it and see if it needs any more. I might just put a little bit more in there. Put that in here, and then you can just have some arranged just around it as well. Okay, so let's move this out of the way, and that has taken minutes. That has literally taken minutes to do, and there we go. There you go, a little bit of autumn joy indoors. Now let's end the video with some more beautiful autumn footage to inspire you.
To Autumn by John Keats. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel, to set budding more and still more later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells.